Dalai Lama made the news recently because he told a little boy to suck his tongue.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You really, like you might think there's some sort of like spiritual meaning behind it. No, no, it's just weird. The dude is just being weird. You can't. Nope.
Yeah,
There's nothing spiritual about sucking the Dalai Lama's tongue, aside from saying you did it. I guess. I mean, if you're looking for a checkbox on the bucket list, well, there you go. I sucked the Dalai Lama's tongue.
I mean, it's a little disturbing that he's 87 years old. It's much more disturbing that a child was involved. And I don't know if you've seen the video of it. I watched the video, and the dude, like,
No, I didn't see the actual video.
the Dalai Lama's just got a shit-eating grin on his face while he's saying it. And when he
Well,
says
he
it,
usually does.
yeah,
It's like, isn't that like half his mantra? It's just like he's got that grin that's just like, like that's almost a punchable face. But
he's looked identical too. That's the thing. He's looked the same for the last like 30 years.
spiritual enlightenment will do that to you.
So this is coming from insider.com. A top Tibetan leader says the Dalai Lama asking a child to suck his tongue in a controversial and now viral video was, quote, innocent, and that the actions of the Buddhist high priest were misinterpreted. I don't know. I don't know how you could misinterpret that. Hey, little boy, suck my tongue. Oh, I know what he meant. No,
Of course.
no, there's no double entendre. There's no double meaning. There's no double entendre. It's exactly what it's exactly as it sounds. And it's like if people are saying that like Jared Fogle, I don't want to compare Dalai Lama to Jared Fogle, but it's like if people are like, oh, Jared Fogle is just misunderstood. People are just misinterpreting his lust for preteen girls. There's no misinterpretation there. I don't know, Fro. And when you hear the Dalai Lama tried to suck a kid's tongue, did you misinterpret that at all? Did you stop to think if it meant something else?
No, not really. It definitely, it gives me like remember back in the day, the Catholic priest vibes, that kind of deal.
I mean, that's still a problem too. I mean, I think was it Massachusetts? I think had the worst of it though. Like the worst cases came from Massachusetts. My my father, he's a man of God. He's a Jesus man. Ned Flanders, as I affectionately call him. And you can imagine what he went through because the church that we went to in town growing up, one of our priest, the guy that ran the place, was one of the prominent figures in that whole scandal in the early aughts.
Thank goodness I wasn't part of that church.
Yeah. And then at least one of the guys, like the substitutes, because we have like a rotating list of priests, reverends, until they settled on someone permanent. And at least one of the substitutes was also caught up in the scandal. Like what?
That's how things were back then, man.
Like what the fuck is like even going on? Like what's going through your mind?
Mental illness. To say the least.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know about. I mean, my pastor or whatever, he's allowed to have a wife and like kids and stuff. Like they let you live normal lives. So maybe something about like the celibacy and the of the Catholic priests or whatever.
Yeah,
they are supposed to be celibate, right? I don't know.
Well,
I don't pay that close attention, but
I think reverends can have families. Like they don't have to take the vow of celibacy. I think if you want to be a full-blown Catholic priest, then you can't marry. You have to take the vow of celibacy. And I think that just like you're literally suppressing your urges. You're suppressing your natural male urges. But the way you're going about trying to satiate them is not the way of going about them.
No, definitely weird things. And I mean, I can't. It's not worth going too deep into. It obviously happened a while ago, but it's just like good and bad, right and wrong. You're kind of, as a priest, supposed to hold up to those a little bit, just a teensy bit, allegedly. But what do I know?
Do you get to the point now where
I'm only a certified reverend, just like you, Mr. Gill.
Oh, yes. But that's the Universal Life Church. I mean, the Universal Life Church does not...
Listen, The Rock went there, okay? Like... There's plenty of very famous people who have gone through that church.
Oh, I think a friend of the show, Mike Shue, actually went through that because I know
there
he's officiating weddings.
Fuck you guys.
Yes.
So this article goes on to say from insider.com, it's unclear when the video in question was recorded, but the clip started circulating on social media in recent weeks. It showed the 87-year-old spiritual leader kissing a boy on the lips before caressing the child's chin and pressing their foreheads together at an event. Moments later, the Dalai Lama pats the boy on the arm and says, "Suck my tongue," while sticking his tongue out and leaning in. How do you try to justify that? How do you try to say it was people are misinterpreting what they're seeing?
Man, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. Not our culture, luckily.
Penpa, I'm gonna screw his name up. Penpa Tsering, the head of the Tibetan government in exile, defended the spiritual leader to reporters on Thursday during an event at the Indian capital of New Delhi, according to CNN. He says, His Holiness has always lived in sanctity, following the life of a Buddhist monk, including celibacy. His years of spiritual practice have gone beyond sensorial pleasures. He then says, His Holiness is now being labeled all kinds of names. Gee, I wonder why.
That reads a little bit like an anime character. Like his power level, it's surpassed all the other power levels known to other strange-haired people.
He's a Dragon Ball character now.
Exactly. He has all 7 Dragon Balls. He can do what he wants.
Dalai Lama's freaking out. He's like, no, the young lad, you see, he was injured. I was giving him sensu beans, and the only way he could take them was by licking them off my tongue.
I had already eaten them, and I was regurgitating them like a bird.
He was baby birding a kid. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus
See,
Christ.
that's all they really meant. We figured it out, right?
Yeah.
Totally logical.
The price you pay to be recovered via sensu beans. But for the uninitiated, the anime Dragon Ball Z and the like, sensu beans, if you're gravely injured, then ingesting a sensu bean will bring you back to 100% health.
Yep.
And give you back your strength.
Great for pivotal moments in fights where you think the good guy is about to die, but he's not about to die.
Yeah, these moments happen once every 7 episodes, where the other 6 are just filler, where you just watch the characters train for a battle that will eventually happen.
They either train or they have dialogue between them and the boss that spans several hours. They're just floating in the air, talking back to each other.
It's a masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece.
It's glorious. Yes. Pinnacle. But those 4 minutes of actual animation you get are pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
In between the 7 episodes.
The article from Insider here goes on to say the Dalai Lama, a Nobel Peace Laureate, don't you know, apologized in a statement posted to Twitter this past Monday. It says, quote, a video clip has been circulating that shows a recent meeting when a young boy asked His Holiness the Dalai Lama if he could give him a hug. His Holiness wishes to apologize to the boy and his family, as well as his many friends across the world, for the hurt his words may have caused. The kid asked for a hug, and he didn't necessarily get a hug.
Well, that's pretty bad.
Like, I'm surprised.
You gotta at least give the kid a hug.
Like, I don't want to sound like every other redneck that lives in our country, but I guarantee you, if this was like that happened here, you would see like that dude would get decked, the Dalai Lama.
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm talking about the Dalai Lama getting his ass kicked, but if that happened here, that dude would be on the ground.
Someone will be swinging.
The statement goes on to say His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in public and before cameras. He regrets the incident. Dude, that's how Me Too started.
Yeah, right. The whole Me Too movement.
Yeah, again, this happened here. Like, what are we canceling the Dalai Lama now?
Might be, but Mr. Gillett goes on to say it could be pro-Chinese sources.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, blame everything on them. The election was stolen, too.
They were behind the video going viral on social media.
I like, dude, you can't blame this on anybody. I mean, the video's there. It's not, at least they're not saying the Chinese tried to doctor it, because it doesn't look like it was doctored. But someone recorded it, and then they posted, like, it could have been the kid's family, the kid's like parents probably was like, whoa, like probably posted on social media. It was like, oh, look at this, this joyous, momentous meeting between my child, the future doctor, and the Dalai Lama. And then someone takes the video and posts on it like, hey, listen to this. Dalai Lama's trying to suck this kid's tongue. Because there's someone there's like a translator there too, who's saying, like, they hear what the Dalai Lama says, and then they translate it into English, and it's heard clear as day.
Being the live translator for that.
Right.
Like, all right, and this, and this, and this, I guess I'm Ron Burgundy.
I wonder if, like, when you're a translator, if you like have to hesitate, or if you just like, if it really is just like a Ron Burgundy moment where you just have to just say out loud everything that the person is saying and doing. I don't know how that works.
You must have there's got to be, I don't know. It's a good question. It's got to be some sort of delay, but I'm sure the delay is like not long enough where you really get to think about what, like, you're busy translating, right? You're just putting word A and word B like Babelfish back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely see how you'd say that, and then like maybe second guess that you say that, and then like be like, did I translate that right? Like, did I even, like, did I screw up, or did the Dalai Lama really just say that? Like, there would be shreds of doubt for sure.
I mean, if this was happening in America, this dude would get canceled, because I was just reading a story today about how actor F. Murray Abraham was fired from the Apple TV show Mythic Quest. I guess he was fired a while ago, and they did a send-off episode for his character. I guess his character plays like a pretty massive role on that show. But the guy, I guess, behind the scenes was, I don't know if he was like really getting physical with any women, but he was definitely at least saying things that were making women uncomfortable. And there were enough complaints generated that he was removed from the show. I mean, this has happened with a lot of older celebrities, especially.
Oh, yeah. Seems like, I mean, it just goes to show it's probably way worse back in the day, and it was much more normalized back then.
Yeah. So they're really, I mean, if you're the Dalai Lama and you're saying, hey there, nice to meet you, come give me a hug, come shove your hand down my pants. Like, there's really nothing, like, I mean, sure, someone's going to laugh at that, but the days of this are long past.
You ever been in a cockpit before? You ever seen a grown man naked?
God, yeah, what a movie.
Yeah, that's a one-way ticket to hell right there. The Dalai Lama's about to lose his spiritual enlightenment or whatever.
Is that revocable? Can they do that?
I'd be like, I don't know, like, what happens if, like, what happens when this guy passes away and who, like, the next Dalai Lama is. But this would just be, like, because the guy's 87 years old, unless he has another, 15 years left in him. If this is nearing the end of the road for him, this is not the note you want to go out on.
No, definitely not. There's worse ways. Or there's better ways. There's worse ways, but there's better ways to go out.
Yeah. I mean, at least not committing an act of terrorism, I guess. There's that. Not That's like true. It's any better. But
crap! I accidentally opened Pandora's box. Spread the diseases all over. My bad, guys.
Well, there's the I guess not the moral. Well, the moral of the story is if you're a spiritual leader, don't abuse it. Don't abuse children. And if you're the Dalai Lama, stick to enlightenment.
Yep. Keep tongues out of children's mouths. They don't belong there.
I was so I don't know if you knew this, but the definitive lineup of Blink-182 reunited. And they performed their first show at Coachella this past Friday, and it was live streamed. So you best believe I watched it.
Nice.
And Tom DeLonge, multiple times, joking in the joking banter that I've missed so much was talking about the Dalai Lama kissing booth at Coachella, which I should disclaim didn't exist. But according to Tom DeLonge, the Dalai Lama there was asking for a lot more than just having his tongue sucked.
My word.
I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. When I saw this article today about like the fallout now from the Dalai Lama, I'm just like, oh my God, that's what Tom was talking about? Like first it was aliens and now it's the Dalai Lama. Tom was right.
Tom knew all along.